touch. I was so proud of her. Touch the button, they get a treat.
We have 2 secret tactics.
Emptied all the treats out of my hand onto the ground and gave her 1,000 kisses.
She asked for 3 treats in a row this morning. I can imagine in the future
boundaries.
set boundaries. Is it recording?
Yeah.
Do you want to say who you are? I'm Sam, this is B, our cat is Jasmine, she's a tortie. She's currently cleaning herself just over there.
This is Jazz. She doesn't want to stay.
I guess, so it's been a week since we got the buttons.
Yeah, so a week ago we got talking, I don't know how to say it.
We got I guess you saw videos that showed cats and dogs can talk to their owners by pressing buttons. And I'm kind of skeptical about it, but I think it's pretty fun.
Jasmine. She's like, this video's about me.
You have these little buttons, and the cat or dog press the buttons, and it makes a word. It says a word that you record into it, and it lets you talk to them. She might go press something now.
Bedroom, okay. You can go in the bedroom, sweetie.
This is one of her weaker words.
You can go in the bedroom, like,
She doesn't fully know bedroom.
Yeah, so I ordered these buttons without telling you.
Yep.
I saw a dog contemplate the meaning of life, and I thought, that is so cute. Imagine if our cat could do that. And she's already, I feel that she's very, like, communicative, and she's always trying to bother us for something. She comes up to me when she wants something, she's like,
She has different buttons. She keeps trying to talk to us now. She's taken to him well. She wants to play.
Alright, well, we have to play with her.
Quick play, because she's learning still, so we're trying to reinforce it as much as possible while she's still getting the hang of it. There is a trick to stop them pressing buttons, which we haven't gotten to yet, but when we do, that'll be a lot better. That's a good play.
Okay, so I ordered these buttons, we unboxed them, she sniffed them, and we watched a video by Justin Bieber the cat. Well, Justin Bieber the cat's mum, and that was very helpful.
Oh, the 4-step thing?
Yeah.
The 4-step process?
You can't just put the buttons out and hope that your cat will press them. Well, you could, but there's a bit more of a method to it, and the method we used was with a jar.
Little tiny jar. Just big enough to fit over the buttons.
So you have a jar, and I think it's called target training or paw target training.
Paw target
So
training.
step 1 is you put a treat under the jar, and then you be the cat.
Yep.
So the treat's under the jar, and then your cat will try and paw at it to get it out. And when they touch the top of the jar, then you let them have the treat. And then you do that a few times until they get used to it. And then you put the jar down with no treat underneath it. And the cat's like, well, this worked before. And when they touch the top of the jar again with no treat underneath, they get the treat. And then step 3 was, honey, play in 1 second. You put the one of the buttons that you're planning to use underneath the jar, and when they touch the top of the jar again, they get a treat. And the treat's not under the jar still, it's like you're just holding the treat. And then you take the jar away, and when they touch the button, they don't need to press it at this stage, but when they just touch the button, they get a treat. And that's kind of the step that we got stuck at, I would say, for a few days. So
it seems like they should be touching the button then, but no.
I think if it was a dog, it would be...
It's because she didn't touch it hard enough.
Yeah, so you have to actually press it for it to sound. Like, it's not a touch screen button. So I think with dogs, that step would probably be less of a roadblock because they would just be so excited to be like, see, I'm pressing the button. They would just slam it and it would sound. But we have a very gentle, small 1-year-old cat who was like, touch, touch. And so it took quite a few days. I would say she got to touching the button in like 2 days or something, like really, really quickly. And then she was stuck at that for a few days. We got the buttons and the hex tiles on Saturday last week. And then I would say on Wednesday she pressed a button accidentally, like pressed it full to the point where it sounded for the first time, and that was a miracle from the heavens, and I just like emptied all the treats out of my hand onto the ground and gave her 1,000 kisses. But it really was an accident, and you could tell that she was like, she didn't really mean to do it, and she didn't understand that the goal was to make the buttons sound. So we kept rewarding her for just touching the buttons for a few days, and then
we have 2 secret tactics to get the press in.
Yes, so to get her to press the button all the way down, what we started doing was, so this was day, like 4 or 5 or something, we started, one of us would hold our finger right there, and when she touched the button, we would help her press it. So it's like she touched it and it sounded. And so we did a couple with her just touching it and she got a treat, and then we'd help her sound it and reinforce that the sound equals the treat. And so for like, I don't know, 5 treats worth or something like that, probably more realistically, she ate a lot of treats over those few days, every time it sounded, she would get a treat. And the other trick we have, they say you shouldn't press your pet's paw down on the button because that sort of forces them, and it creates like a...
I think some people might like just grab their cat paw and like way too much.
So don't do that. She wouldn't like that. What we did, which maybe isn't recommended, but I think it was. I think that's what helped the dots connect for her. Was we gently picked her up, just her chest up, torso, and just sort of like plonked one of her paws down on the button so she could feel that her weight pressed the button, and we would do that a few times and reward.
There's a little bit of haptic feedback as well. She might feel like it clicks in.
And then on Friday, I feel like was the breakthrough moment. I was doing the help her press and the drop her on it press gently, and then she just got it. I could just see she was like, oh, I gotta push it, and like it was raining treats basically. And I think that was what, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That was day 6. So I was so proud of her. Like 6 days, she basically, I mean, it sounds stupid, but I was ridiculously proud of her. And I sent you many videos of the revolution, and then, so you've got your cat to press a button.
I think usually they say not to use treat or food as one of the buttons because a lot of cats will abuse it. Luckily ours doesn't. So we had the button just say beep. Like I recorded myself just saying beep, so it's not like a meaningful word, it's just to help her get the buttons. And then the next thing you need to do is create associations and demonstrate the meaning of buttons. So while we were trying to get her to touch and press buttons, we were also demonstrating, or I think they call it modelling, 2 buttons. We had bedroom and play. And so we had the bedroom one next to the bedroom, because that's a room she can go in sometimes but not all the time, so it's like she wants to go in there. I think some people who have like an enclosed yard or they have an outdoor cat, they might do outside as one of the buttons, because that's a very clear, like, this button is pressed and then the door opens, and so you have to model that like over and over again. Whenever you open that door or do that thing, you press the button outside, open the door, and like it might take a while. Your pet might not really, like Jasmine didn't
I don't think she really gave a shit most of the time, but at least it's like, I did see her once when I pressed bedroom, she sort of looked up and she expected something to happen, so you can see those like connections start to be made. And with the play one, we just put it near where her wand fun there, toys are, and every time we went to play we would press the button play and then immediately start playing, and that totally, I could see that like catch on for her. When I pressed the button, she would like whip her head up and look at the cupboard where we keep the toys. Her pupils would dilate and she'd be like, woohoo! So that was like, we could see the connection being made, and then once she learnt to press buttons, then we centralised the buttons, so the button for bedroom wasn't by the bedroom anymore, it was in the kind of cockpit, whatever location that we want to have all the buttons and all the hex tile layout. And so the play button moved from next to where her toys were to
part of the grid.
And she caught on really quickly. Did you want to talk about like the treat thing?
I think it would be a mistake for some other people to use treat as a button, because some
they say
cats,
not to. They basically say don't use food as your first button.
I mean, a lot of dogs and cats would abuse that. Luckily,
food.
Our demure little cat amazingly doesn't. She asked for 3 treats in a row this morning and then stopped.
Yeah. So we did introduce treats as her third and fourth word. So we have bedroom, play, and then we introduced treat as her third button. And we have 2 different types of treats. We have temptations and greenies. And I thought, I don't know, you know your cat, you know your dog, and I just thought, she doesn't usually overeat. Like, even when she likes the thrill of breaking into her food, but she doesn't gorge herself. She's never like made herself sick by eating too much. She'll just have a few bites if she breaks into her food and just
She often leaves food behind.
Yeah, and she often leaves...
Has 2 courses of the same plate.
Yeah, she often leaves food in her bowl, and I just felt like it would be a fun thing for her to see that the buttons have meaning and they can differentiate between 2 types of treats.
Different buttons, different things.
Yeah, so we have 1 button for greenies and 1 button for temptations, and...
We also have pats.
Oh, and then...
Pat?
5th button introduced was
Rarely
pats.
uses it.
She did the other day.
So the ones she has mostly used, treats and play. Like, you would think play would be less, but she's been smashing it today.
She was smashing it like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I would have thought the buttons, she wouldn't be associated, like all the buttons mean the same sort of thing, but she
definitely
seems to think play means play.
I definitely think.
Like, she hit play, I would sit down. I would play with her, sit down, she'd hit play again. Play with her, sit down,
when I was
play
in
again.
the shower just before, she did 3 plays in a row, so I feel like just as Sam was like, maybe we'll wrap up the play now, she's like, more play.
Yeah, which brings us to the next button we need to teach her.
Yeah, so...
This is our hopes and dreams for the future.
They recommend a button you introduce pretty early, and Justin Bieber the cat... I have to find out this lady's name.
She's good.
Yeah.
If it doesn't...
Oh, Sarah. Justin's mum, Sarah, from Justin Bieber the Cat YouTube, said a good button to introduce early when your cat start getting excited about the buttons is all done. So you can say, you can have a play and they keep pressing play, and then if you're over it or they're not allowed any more treats or whatever, you can press treat all done and walk away, and so you're modelling, demonstrating that it's finished now. So that's probably the next one we'll try and...
I guess we'll model it just by, if she hits it, we'll just walk away.
I mean, you can't really teach all done unless they're doing something in excess. You can't just teach all done when they only want 1 treat. I guess you could, but yeah, when she starts
I think that's how we'll do it.
asking for too many treats, we'll
all
done and walk away. See. It's hard for me because I kind of just want to do whatever she wants. I would get up in the night. If I heard her say play in the night, I would like get out of bed.
It's I guess like I'm keen for that now while we're teaching her. But I can imagine
wanna
in the
set
future. We set boundaries.
All done.
Imagine teaching her no. Treat no.
All done.
Stop. Anyway, yeah, so these little buttons, they just have a switch on the bottom where you record, you press it, you say whatever you want, and then you switch it to play mode, and then they play.
Yep.
So, yeah. This has
Catch.
been the story of our 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day old cat.
Yep.
Learning to talk.
Catch you next time.
Oh my god.